institutions in academia. The kind of news that we get is a blurb in a newspaper or a news broadcast or an internet posting, and you end up having to research dozens and dozens and dozens of unrelated things that you in the search capacity that you're using. Say that you want to find out more about comet element. Well, you can go to NASA and you can go to JPL and you can get an orbital diagram. But other than that, the information is very shortcoming. They're not going to tell you its electrical values, the composition of its nucleus, or the activity of the electrons and protons streaming in and around comets, which clearly define an electrical field. But they just want to push this agenda that it's a nothing, inert little fuzzy snowball. When we know that we've actually gotten up close to Comet Temple 1, took a picture of it, and it was jet black with hydrocarbons all over it. It was black. There was not any ice, any water, anything flying off of this comet. But yet it had a brilliant coma and tail behind it. So I think that the media can simply get away with it because they have a monopoly on all information, and our own scientific and academia institutes are selling us short and not giving us any information, and a lot of speculation and theories and filling in the gaps is done by the public. I know I'm guilty of it myself.
Do you consider this is a broader picture, that there is a global agenda to keep this information from the people and not just in the United States, that in fact the tentacles of this octopus may extend to the Illuminati, controlling the media, controlling our scientific institutions, or whether it be the New World Order, whatever name you want to give them? Do you consider that there's this much influence in our scientific academia today?
Yeah, and I really didn't want to turn in this direction, but let's call it for what it is. It's not the Illuminati, it's the World Jewish Congress. Through them and through the Vatican, dictate all educational, scientific, and medical advancements, and they dictate all laws. The Vatican is responsible, owns almost all of our academia. If you look at the bottom of any college page, you'll see that it's funded by the Vatican or institutions very close to the Vatican. They own most of the scientific instrumentation, our satellites, our observatories. Well, let me take that back. Maybe not our satellites. Maybe the American people had paid for them, and somehow the Vatican has gained control of them through the observatories and academia that they already have in place. But absolutely, we're being stifled and kept down under a blanket so that we can't see or breathe, believing that we're free and individual people, when we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is all being orchestrated by the World Jewish Congress. And bastards, these bastards, and I'm just going to say it. Listening to these people recently, I was talking to an Israeli and listening to some of his, and he said that the only reason there are walls and fences up around Israel is to give people some kind of a definition of where Israel exists, but that Israel actually exists as far as an M16 bullet will reach from that gate or that fence or wall outwards. That they look forward to World War III. They actually tell you this. Israelis, high Israelis from the seat of power, not at the Vatican, about Mount Zion, Jerusalem, and it's a real place. So let's call these people what they are: the World Jewish Congress bastards who have pretty much stifled humanity. They are the first power in known history to have dominated the globe, and they continue to do so. To what end? I believe it will be a World War III, because the mentality of these people are our lands go out and exceed our boundaries as far as an M16 bullet can travel, or a rocket, or a jet plane. That is the boundary of Israel. And they make no pretentious claims about this. They tell you flat ass, they are working towards World War III to purge the world of infidels and anti-Semites.
Well, sir, considering that you do support Palestine, considering that you do support the people to be aware of this, I don't consider you an anti-Semite at all. You mentioned earlier, however, that the Vatican were in control of academia. Does this extend that the Vatican actually have their own observatories? Is that correct? They have their own huge telescopes that they're keeping an eye on the cosmos with? I've heard that before, but can you clarify that for me, sir?
Absolutely. They probably, and this is now an estimate because I did not prepare for this, 90% of all academia and observatories on the planet. They've been able to get into New Mexico, cut all the red tape, and put up another observatory in the Sacramento Mountains in less than 3 years. Now, you can't even build a house in less than 3 years. They own Arecibo. They own all the biggest and largest telescopes in the world. And most of them now are being built or have been built recently in the southern hemisphere at breakneck speeds for whatever reason. Yes, there is a lot of debris, it would seem, coming in from the southern declination, which is actually our blind spot, coming in directly towards the South Pole. But we're changing that with McMurdo Station, which has been rebuilt because the old one is under snow. But they own all of this. You can go to the bottom page of any observatory or any college, and there'll always be some kind of a Vatican or a sister institution, which leads to the Vatican.
Well, sir, Mr. Earthplay, thank you very much for your time. You've been very, very instructive and very informative, as always. I would like to say thank you very much, and God bless you for your time. Before we finish this interview, sir, can you tell me, do you support the stop funding of Israel? Do you support that, and why?
Absolutely, I do. Only because I believe in the preservation of human life. These are the most foul, decadent, rude, obnoxious people you will ever meet in your life. They belittle, degrade, and diminish anything that they touch or come across. Just from the perspective of self-preservation, my family, my country, I'm going to make a very bold statement here. We need to reevaluate our relationship with Israel and be done with them. And let their fate be their fate. But right now, they're guiding the world into oblivion.
Well, sir, Mr. Earthplay, on behalf of Stop Funding Israel and all the people listening in here today, I'd like to thank you and say God bless, take care, and ciao for now.